The intellect actually rules the mind. The knowledge we harbor in the intellect has the veto power. You may endeavor to take the mind to God. Chalo, your goal is God realization, Sham Sundar ka dhyan karo. But if your intellect has decided, there is not real happiness in God. Happiness is in that TV serial which is coming on Samay Sahara. So then the intellect will immediately reject. And when the intellect inspires the mind will jump from God and go to the world. So the intellect also has to be corrected. See, we are all leading our lives guided by this beacon light of the intellect. There is one college school student. His parents keep on telling him, my child studies is important and don't ruin your life in vices, etc. But his intellect says, the parents feel that way, but I don't think there's anything wrong. Now that intellect is guiding his life. And we grow up. The intellect says, studies is really important. It's going to decide the quality of your life for so long. And then people start studying. And then the intellect says, all right, family life is also important. They give it a priority. The intellect says, all right, enough of it. Now, what about the afterlife? What about the inner satisfaction? The intellect has decided this, and you have come for lectures such as this. So ultimately, our intellect is deciding the direction of our life. Now, when this intellect is so important in relation to what we do, where we go, how far we rise, what we achieve, then it's important to have the best knowledge in the intellect. However, our intellect is material. And because it is material, it has got inherent defects that are crippling our progress on the path. These inherent defects, Maharshi Patanjali in the Yoga Darshan, he called it Panchaklesh. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesh, Abhinivesh. However, Maharshi Patanjali also, he refers to it in a different way, and in the Bhagavatam Ved Vyas, he also says that in the materially conditioned state, our intellect has got reversed. And he calls this Viparyay. Viparyay means reversal of the intellect. Anitya natma dukkheshu viparyaya matirhyaham. What is the reversal of the intellect that has taken place? First point, the anitya things, we are seeing them as nitya. The people whom we are going to leave one day, the objects that we are going to leave for when we go on our final yatra, these are all temporarily connected to us, but we are not considering that. Our intellect says, this is mine, he is mine, she is mine, they will always be mine. Now that is what the saints remind us again and again, that you are going to go alone, nothing is going to go with you. As one Kavi said, Dunya mein khoob kamaya. Dunya mein khoob kamaya. Kya हीरे क्या मोती, क्या करें यारों, कफन में जेब नहीं होती. I earned so much, but the coffin, the shroud that covers the dead body when it is taken on the final yatra, doesn't have pockets, so I could not take anything with me. So the fact is, we are going to leave this whole world behind and go alone. So this world is anitya, temporary. But is that our perspective? We are giving it so much of importance because of the viparya of our intellect, the reversal. And the saints tell us, Kripaluji Maharaj says, जग में रहो ऐसे गोविंद राधे धर्मशाला में यात्री रहे जो बता दे. He says, live in this world like a yatri traveler lives in the dharmashala or a motel, for example. So if you go to live in a motel, let us say that you have gone to Las Vegas and you are spending one night in the motel. Are you concerned? You know, the shade of the paint on the walls is not the best possible. Let me see what can I do to get a better shade on the walls. And there's a stitch that has come off from the curtain. Let me call them to get it mended. You care nothing for it. You know, it's all temporary. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to leave it all behind. How does it matter? I just have to pass this one night. So the saints tell us that you live in this world with that same attitude of the intellect. In fact, Akbar, when he made his Fatehpur Sikri, his new capital, he put a quotation there, which some people say he got it from some Christian missionary. The quotation is, the world is like a bridge. Cross over it, but build no house on it. But we want to build bigger houses. What about the house within? That is the one that's going to go along. The material treasure will be left behind. What will go with us is the spiritual treasures we have earned. How much of your time are you allotting to earning spiritual wealth? And how much of your time are you allotting to your material comforts and adjustments of your material situation? Compare, and you will realize how defective our intellect is. So, anitya, we have taken the temporary world as eternal. And anatma, the second point he says, anatma, the non-self, which is the body. We are taking this as the self. We all know that we are the eternal soul. That knowledge is available to everyone. And yet, we are not acting from that platform. Our entire works is from the platform of the body. That is why, supposing you tell somebody, you must have informed your friends and relatives that Swamiji's satsang has begun. Come and hear it. And what did your friend say? I don't have time because I come very late from office. You don't have time for what? For attending the satsang. But you have got time for everything else, 24 hours. Now that same person who says, I don't have time, supposing he falls sick, the doctor says, you have got hepatitis. You need to do 15 days of complete bed rest, else your liver will get damaged. That person who was saying, I don't have time, he is lying in his bed for 15 days. You didn't go to your office for 15 days? You know, if I do that, my liver will get damaged. So, for the sake of your liver, you could take out 15 days. And for the sake of your own soul, you had to go to the satsang, but those 2 hours appeared too heavy. Why? Because our intellect does not realize that we are not the body, we are the eternal soul. And then the third point he says, dukkheshu. We are the apparent pleasures of the world, which are actually a source of misery. We are confusing them to be true happiness. Many of you have got children. Is it a very easy task to raise children? Oh, Swamiji, what a big project it is. And in America, it's even bigger. Because I see out here parents after school, as when the child is small, you have to go and drop him to school and you have to bring him from school. And then after school, now Swamiji, I have to take him for the Kumon class. Now he has started chess, I have to take him there and he has to go for karate. So many things all day long. The parents are running with the children here and there and they're doing it for so many years. And at the end, what happens? The child says, Father, you don't know anything. Or the daughter-in-law comes and she says, you are not supposed to love your parents so much, you have to love me. Now the wedge is created. And the only reciprocation the parents get from the child is that on Father's Day they receive a card in America. Happy Father's Day. My duty is over. So was there any real pleasure there? But the confusion was, oh, this is real happiness. If only I can have a child, I'll be so happy. So Ved Vyas says, this is the viparyaya of our intellect. That the dukh of this world, we are confusing it to be sukh. So now our intellect is defective. If we lead our life on the basis of our intellect, will we succeed in reaching the divine goal? No. In that situation, we need help from a higher intellect. You take help in the world as well. If you have been sued in some accident, car accident, now you don't know any law. Your knowledge of law is zero. So you go to an advocate. The advocate says, don't worry, I have understood the case. Now, if that opposing advocate asks you this question, you give this answer. If he asks this question, give this answer. For anything else, keep quiet. Now, he is working according to the intellect of the advocate. And he succeeds, he wins the case. The other advocate says, this person is pakka, I could not budge him from his stance. So, how did that person succeed? By taking help of a higher intellect. Same way in the spiritual realm as well. That is the advice given to us. Don't rely on your intellect. That intellect has got viparyaya. Then surrender your intellect to God. That's what he says, right? Mai buddhim niveshaya. Arjun, surrender your intellect to me. Do as I tell you to do. Vast, like you took the advocate's advice, like you take a doctor's advice. You don't know any medicine, you go to a doctor. Doctor says, I've got this pain and this problem and this malady and this illness. The doctor says, all right, get all the tests done and come. Then he analyzes. I have got the problem. I am recommending to you this medicine. Take 2 drops in 1 tablespoon of water 3 times a day. You will be cured. You have to do it for 2 months. So we use the doctor's intellect. All right, 2 drops in 1 tablespoon of water 3 times a day. Now, if we start using our intellect, Mr. Doctor, you said that keep taking it for 2 months, just 2 drops. I want to get cured faster. Let me take the whole bottle today. You think it's going to work? You have to surrender your intellect to the doctor. He's the specialist in medical science. So, in the spiritual realm, you have to, if you wish to succeed, give up the pride of the intellect. मैं सब कुछ जानता हूं. That is the undoing of us Indians on the spiritual path. We all think we are experts. Yeah. In a train journey in India, you just raise the topic of spirituality and see how everybody's volume goes up. Everybody is the expert on spirituality. But that is not the proper way to do it. Sri Krishna says, surrender your intellect to me. Now, how will we surrender our intellect to him? By accepting the knowledge that he has given. By fitting this in our head through the scriptures and through the Guru, the teacher. So when we guide our life in accordance with the teachings of the scriptures and the Guru, then we have surrendered our intellect. And if we say, suno sabki karo man ki, then that is not surrender. That is not the formula for success.